Now, if you don't already have a product to sell, a brand that you've been running, here's a couple things to keep in mind when you're out there doing research and doing what I just like to call observing the marketplace. You're taking a look at things, going on AliExpress and Amazon and eBay, sorting by orders, seeing what products have a lot of stuff being sold, just in general, just trying to get ideas. So here's a couple things to think about with TikTok if that's the route you're going to be going. A couple types of products that sell really well. Different gadgets, gizmos, anything cool. I'm just looking for trending products, things that people might not have seen before, that sort of thing. The reason why I'm looking for something that's a little bit cooler when it comes to TikTok is the way I like to think about it, a little more unique, is because it's just much more of an impulse platform. It's faster pace. From my experience, people usually aren't going to sit there and read about the product and spend $180. It's just a little faster, impulse purchases. So I'm looking for general cool things that would kind of catch your attention. I also try to avoid anything with a lithium battery that's just a logistical thing, a charging phone case or a hoverboard or whatever has a big lithium battery that will cause problems for you. Not necessarily on the actual ad platform. You can still run TikTok ads to it just fine. It's going to become a shipping and logistics issue whether you're drop shipping or not. And I'm not saying you can't work around it. In fact, one of my distant friends, George Klein, he owns a very, very large phone charging case company, and they do probably a little over 8 figures a year. And he's been doing that for 5 years. They figured it out. Prime example, I believe it's a lithium battery. So there's ways to work it out. I'm just trying to give you a framework to run into the least amount of obstacles as possible. So a couple of things to think about there, okay? Finally, not necessary but ideal is if it could be a product that would naturally integrate into a TikTok somehow. Just make content around it and then your product happens to be involved. So I'll give you an example here that I put down, some kind of unique LED lights, which do extremely well on TikTok. There's hundreds of different types of LED lights. I'm not talking about the light strips or light bulbs. There's different poles that light up, and there's different things for the back of your computer and all sorts of stuff. But if you could have a really cool bedroom with a gorgeous view of New York City, you're playing a viral trending sound, using view and New York as hashtags and general things, and you happen to get it right in the algorithm. If you have a beautiful view and oh my gosh, wait a minute, the LED lights just so happen to be there and the room's all colorful and cool and everybody loves it, well then you run that as a spark post. You're indirectly involving your product in the ad. So that's a prime example. Another one I've seen, we used to do this on Facebook. We used to sell light bars for trucks for a client of ours. It wasn't my own company. We just did all the advertising. So we had really cool videos of them slinging the trucks around in the mud and driving through the mountains and crazy truck stuff, and then doing it at night, and the light bar just happened to be there. We never directly mentioned it. We didn't have text in there saying 50% off, get it now. It was just a really natural native ad where, it was a really cool video and the product just happened to be involved. So if you can figure those out, those are kind of golden ticket product ideas. A couple things to think about. The ideal, I put ideal in quotes because everything is subjective. It's up to opinion. And I've seen people sell stuff for more expensive than this, but this is the ideal pricing framework. I personally, I can only give you my personal experience, I strongly dislike TikTok ads if I'm running anything under $30. If I'm doing that, I have to go with Facebook. Facebook can make stuff that's 20 to 25 profitable. On TikTok, man, you just struggle. If it's under $30 for your average order value, you're gonna struggle a lot. So if I'm selling the product, if my product cannot be sold for above 30, in my opinion, it would be $34.99 is my minimum. If I can't get $35 just for the product, and then on top of that, start stacking some upsells, I really don't wanna do it. It's just an uphill battle, and unless it's the coolest product in the world and I source it for really cheap, so unless you can make up that difference somewhere else, the cost per purchases are just rarely below $15 on TikTok. I rarely see them, if I'm being honest. $30 to $70 is the primary range for my front end product. So the product I'm advertising sells for 30 to 70. I usually end up falling in that 35 to 50 range, and then I add another 10 on top of that through the average order value. So doing things like upsells and basic email marketing, stuff like that, where we can get the average order value, and this is the key point, is into the 40s. For me, that's my minimum. If I can't get it 240, it's just so hard. It's so frustrating. So I've actually bought equity in multiple e-commerce businesses, some of people who have gone through my courses and they built really cool companies and they just need help scaling and putting systems in. And so I've either bought or taken equity in multiple, and I refuse to do it if I know I can't get it to 40. Now I've bought into some, and I've also taken equity in one that had a $29 average order value, but I knew I could get it up. I knew the product was priced low. They didn't have any good upsells. So I knew I could get it there. So for me, that's a simple threshold. You can be profitable for a month or for 2 months if you're 34, 36. I'm telling you, it's just you're fighting an uphill battle. So you're entering battle. If you were decide, this is honestly how I think about it. If you are just starting, if you're starting a new store, a new brand, you're looking for stuff, you are starting a fight of some kind. And wouldn't you want to just put yourself in the best position to make it as easy as possible? Because it's going to be a fight either way. So look for stuff where you can boost that average order value. And just as a quick disclaimer, one of the things that I've seen sell the absolute most of was for sale for $69.99, and there was upsells on top of that. So the average order value was like 83. It was a huge. So that was like the highest product that I'd seen do multiple millions a month consistently. So you can get up there. I haven't seen anything above $100 do well on TikTok. I haven't. So another quick tip for research, just like more practical step you can do right now to look for products. If you have an idea on like a niche, an industry, a type of product, whatever it is, search those keyword hashtags on TikTok. So go to the TikTok search page and search for those. Click hashtags and you can see all the top engagement videos. So you're directly looking at a lot of ads. And from that, you can see, you know, their ads, their page on TikTok, how they structure their content. You get to see their store as well. You can click the link. There's a lot of things you can do for general research. So that's a quick tip, is actually using every platform really, but TikTok is probably the easiest for it, if I'm being honest, to find stuff that does well on TikTok. And then you know if they have thousands of comments and anything more than 1 million views, I'd say if it has under 1 million views, they haven't spent more than a few $1,000s. Because if you spend, you know, I'd say probably 10,000 plus, you'll get 1 million views through the ad. That's just like the natural range there. So it's just one of those things. You just look for engagement. The higher the engagement, the better. You know, you're just looking for examples, for ideas, just general research on every topic until you find something that looks good. So that is a couple things about TikTok products. And yeah, with that being said, jump into the next module and we will start going through the ads.